All know, if you follow me, that I am a big fan of the Sezane style of garments, and I've done a spring and summer collection. It's going to be in 4 parts, and today is part 1, and we're going to look at tops and blouses together. So come on. Hi there, I'm Christine the Gemini Stitcher. Welcome to my little sewing space. If you're new, I've had a little flurry of new subscribers, so welcome to the crazy sewing gang. I do vlogs on a Monday and a Thursday. Mondays tend to be my makes and plans and inspiration for the week ahead, and Thursdays can be absolutely anything, whatever's in my overactive creative brain. But I'm trying to be a little bit more organised for the next few weeks, and the next 4 Thursdays are all going to be my inspiration for my spring and summer garments from one of my favourite fashion houses, Sezane. So today is going to be all about blouses. Wowzer, there are some amazing, yummy, scrummy tops and blouses on the Sezane site for the spring and summer, and I'm so glad I went and had a little nosy, because I am all fired up now to create a Sezane style capsule for the spring and summer. So when I did this last time, I chose the 5 different garments all in one vlog that were going to be my inspiration for my Sezane style autumn winter mini capsule, but I'm doing it a little bit different. I'm going to choose 5 blouses today, and then next Thursday will be 5 dresses, then we're going to do 5 jackets, and then the last week we're going to look at 5 trouser and skirt patterns. So let's have a look at what I found on Sezane. I'm going to match them with fabrics that go with the image that they've created, and then I'm going to show you what I'm going to get out of my stash if I make that garment, because I'm trying not to shop, but I appreciate you guys haven't got what I've got in my stash. So I'm also going to show you a fabric that I think will work with it, that is available online in the UK at the moment. So let's get cracking and have a look at these blouses together. This first blouse is, now my pronunciation of the French may be absolutely rubbish. I actually know it is, so please don't pull me up on it. I'll be putting the names below. And it is the Gusta blouse. Gusta blouse. I know this looks like quite a simple blouse or shirt or top pattern at first glance. It's been done in a beautiful 100% cream linen, and it's got 3/4 sleeves. They're saying it's got a boat neck. I think it's more like a high round neck personally, but you know, Sezane know what they're talking about more than me, clearly. It's got pleated sleeves at the top. I love that pleat detail. I definitely want to replicate that. A gathered cuff and button placket detail on the front. Now the button placket detail is a slit really, rather than a placket, to be honest, and it's got rouleau loops and some beautiful buttons which set it off really nicely. So we'll look at the pattern first that I think will work for this blouse. Now there's a little caveat with these. All or most of these patterns that I found need little tweaks to them to replicate this pattern, or all the patterns precisely, but I'm going to tell you how I'm going to make them work. And I've tried to use patterns from my stash as well. So the first one that I've picked for this blouse is one that's been out for ages. It's a chalk and notch pattern, and it's the Wren blouse, and some images of the Wren will be coming up here. So why have I chosen the Wren? It doesn't need that much tweaking. It's very much the style. It's got the little puffy sleeves. They've gathered them at the sleeve head, so you can easily change that to pleat detail instead, and then it will match the Sezane blouse. The neck is a little bit scooping, I think, but that's easy enough to rise, so I will be putting pleats, not gathers, in the sleeves. I'll be rising the neckline up, and obviously I think I'm going to have to redraft the front bodice panel because the Wren has got a full button down placket and we don't want that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the placket detail off the front of the pattern, and I'm going to leave the front seam in, seam it up, and then that top bit leave open, which will then naturally create that front slit detail that is in the Sezane blouse. I hope I'm making sense here. I'm going to put the rouleau loops on, and then the neckline is exactly like the Sezane. I'll be raising it like I've already said, and then I'll be finishing the neckline exactly as the pattern. So not too much tweaking. If you've not hacked a pattern before, this might be a good one to try, because all you're doing is reducing the seam on the front bodice panel because you don't want the placket, and raising the neckline. Simple as. So what fabric have I found to make the Gusta blouse? Well, I've gone to one of my favourite fabric shops, which is for linens, which is LAMAZI, and they have got some beautiful ivory cotton linen. It's their Breeze Ivory linen cotton enzyme washed fabric. Oh, it sounds divine, doesn't it? So if I didn't have some fabric in my stash that I was going to use, that is the fabric that I would be going for, and it is £14 a metre. So not cheap, I admit, but it's only a blouse, so I could probably get that out of 1.5 metres. So a beautiful, stunning Sezane style blouse for, what's that going to work out at? £21. And I will pop the Sezane price up here just to focus your little minds. And I will pop the Sezane price up here as a little comparison. But I am really consciously trying to use fabric from my stash, and I have got some linens that I bought recently, and this is the one that I want to potentially make this blouse out of. Here it is. It's a beautiful viscose linen, and it's got a jacquard weave in it with a floral pattern in there as well. So what do we think? That, I think, will make a really nice Gusta blouse. Keep saying it differently, don't I? One of them will be right. Now, I got this from LAMAZI, but I have since found it on Pound Fabrics. So I will cheat a little bit cheaper, so I'll pop the link for that below. But the dilemma I always have with Pound Fabrics is, I know I only need 1.5 metres of this fabric, and I can go on LAMAZI and I can buy 1.5 metres of fabric. So there's no waste, or very little waste. Pound Fabrics, I'm going to have to buy 2 metres. So I've got 0.5 metre of fabric spare. So is that cost effective? I'll put the link below for LAMAZI and for Pound Fabrics, and you can decide yourself if you want to use this fabric. Blouse 2 is the Flipper blouse, and quite a simple looking blouse, but because it's got the contrast, I flipping love it. So it's short sleeved, it's got contrast detail on it, it's got a shirt collar at the top and then a slashed v-neck at the front, and it's also got sleeve cuffs. And the Brucey bonuses, they've shown it with some matching shorts as well. And I'm really into this outfit as a whole, so shorts might be done as well with this one. So first of all, what pattern have I got in my stash that I will use for the Philippa blouse or top? Well, it's got to be the Donny Shirt, hasn't it? It's not an exact match, but it's as good as there. It's got the shirt collar on it, I think will work really well for this pattern. It's got the basic shape the same, it's got the v-neck detail at the front, but the difference is the Donny has got a full on collar all the way down. But in my head, what I will do is take the bottom half of the collar off and replace that with the facing and perhaps shorten the top part of the collar slightly. And then the only other alteration that I need to make to that shirt is to put some cuff detail on. Easy peasy. So what fabrics have I found for you to replicate this pattern? Well, they're both going to be linens. The first one is the main colour, and I found that fabric from Croft Mill. It's their Enigma linen in gold, and it's an amazing £12.76 a metre. And I reckon if I'm doing the collar, etc., in a contrast fabric, I could probably squeeze the Donny out of a metre of fabric. So £12.76. And then I'll use offcuts from the other linen that I've already bought to do the contrast, so there's no purchase involved there because I'll not need very much for that. So yeah, there's the price of the Sezane Philippa shirt, and mine is going to cost me £12.76. Which one do you think you'll choose? So I'm going to be using fabric in my stash to make mine with. I'm not buying the Enigma linen, even though I'm really tempted. I'm going to stick to my guns. And I've got some linen that I bought recently. So for the Philippa blouse, I'm going to use some controversial fabric from my stash because this gorgeous washed out burnt orange fabric, I've been told, drains me. So I'm hoping that I've got the cream underneath that's the cream jacquard. So I'm going to use that for the collar and detail around the front and the cuffs. But it takes that burnt orange away from my face a little bit and hopefully won't drain me because I absolutely love it. So this is what I would make the Philippa in, and I'd make some shorts using the pearl pattern from Swim Style Patterns and put a matching cuff on as well. Blouse or top number 3 is the Nevity shirt or top. Now this is quite, again, they're all quite simple but little stunning details to them. So it's quite boxy, it's got short sleeves with the pleats at the top. This is definitely a theme. Instead of gathering this year, put the little pleat detail in. Dead easy to replicate, so I'll be doing that a lot. It's got a v-neck at the front, and the detail in this blouse is the scalloped placket, which matches the chunky buttons that they've put on as well. And I think that attention to detail is beautiful. So what pattern would I use? Now this is one that I have not got in my stash, and it's not the one that I'm going to use, but if you haven't got a pattern, I would recommend buying the Tammy Handmade Faye blouse. It is almost a perfect fit for this Sezane top. It's got the scalloped placket, but when I've looked into the Tammy Handmade, the scalloping is a lot smaller and it doesn't follow the line of the buttons. If you're not bothered with that, then the Faye will work perfectly. It's got similar sleeves, it's got the V-neck, it's a semi-fitted boxy fit, and you've got the option to do scalloping on the placket as well. I don't have the Faye blouse, so I'm going to be using one of my old favourites and hacking it. So yes, you've probably guessed, I'm going to use the patina blouse. So what am I going to do to the patina to make it work and look like the Sezane blouse in the images? I'm going to take the collar out completely. I will probably do the low neck version, and then I'm going to, the only other thing I need to do is obviously put the pleats in instead of the gathering at the shoulder, and then just do a short sleeve version. The only other thing I need to do is these buttons and the scallops. So I will mark, I think what I'm going to do is take the front bodice piece, mark out, get it to the size and length that I want, choose my buttons, place the buttons onto the pattern piece, and then do the scallops around the buttons so that they fit, and then trace the pattern pieces out like that. So I'm going to have a scalloped front edge and a scalloped facing on the front, but then I will have a beautiful, beautiful summer blouse. So it's all going to be about the buttons. I need to check in my stash, see if I've got any buttons that will work, and if I haven't, I'll just have to buy some amazing buttons, because that's going to make this blouse take it from here to here. There's no point doing all that scalloping and then putting cheap buttons on. Won't work. So what fabric am I going to use? I'm going to use, if I make this, obviously the cream jacquard fabric again. If you want to use this sort of fabric, then go to Pound Fabrics or LAMAZI. If I didn't have this fabric in my stash, then I've found some plain slub type linen on Cool Crafting. Here's an image of it. It's got some texture and detail to it, which I think the Sezane top does. You can only guess so much from an image on a screen, but I think that the Cool Crafting linen will go very, very well indeed. And it's £16 a metre, so if I was buying my fabric, I would buy the Cool Crafting fabric, so I'd need 1.5 metres of it, so that would work out at £24 for the blouse plus the buttons. So if we say the buttons are going to cost me £10 because I want nice ones, so we're going to say £34 for that blouse. And there's the Sezane price. Just focusing our minds. Blouse number 4 from Sezane is the Luri blouse. Oh, I love they're all basic patterns with very clever details in them and beautiful fabrics. I think that probably sums up Sezane for me this year. So the details in the Luri are the square neck, loving that square neck detail. It's again got the pleated sleeves, they're definitely a theme this year. and it's got a front button down placket. It is a cropped top, so it's going to go great with high waist trousers and skirts, and I think it would make an amazing co-ord set. So what pattern have I found in my stash that I can tweak? If I didn't have the pattern, it would be the same one, and it's a free pattern, and it's the Onil Blouse, and I will pop the link below for it. Now, the Onil Blouse has not got a front button placket, but oh my goodness, that is the only difference between these two tops. So I've already got it, and it's free anyway, so if you've not got the Onil Blouse, download it. It's beautiful. So I'm going to alter the bodice again. I'm just going to extend it a bit at the front to create a fold back placket, and apart from that, it'll work. The sleeves on the Onil are gathered, but you can always pleat those instead, and that's it. And that will make that blouse absolutely perfect. Let's talk about fabric for this blouse, because that's really what's making it so unique. And I'll be honest, I have struggled to find some fabric that replicates it, but I've got a couple of options from LAMAZI. One's a remnant, so when it's gone, but the other one they have definitely got in stock. So the one they've got in stock is the embroidered daisies on a blue cotton background, and I've seen this in a few different places. I think Guthrie and Garnet have got it as well, but it's slightly cheaper at LAMAZI. Now this has got a big embroidered daisy pattern on it, so you'd have to be careful with the pattern placement, but I think it will still work really well for this blouse and give it that wow factor. The other fabric is on LAMAZI as well, and it's a remnant, so when it's gone, it is gone. And it's the embroidered rhombus on blue eyelet fabric. Now they've got 2.58 meters of it. It's just over £40 for the piece. So not cheap fabric, but imagine that in a co-ord set, pair of trousers and that top, all made out of that fabric. How gorge would that look? In fact, I might go and snaffle that myself. I want to try and resist. If it's gone when you click on the link, guess who's got it? So what fabric have I got in my stash that I can make that top in? I've had this in my stash for ages. I think I got it from Jenny Stitches last summer. Didn't have a Scooby what to make with it, and didn't do anything, but I think it would look great in this blouse. It isn't embroidered, but it's linen viscose, and it's got shells all over it. Now I do know, if you fancy some of this fabric that Oh So Crafty, I have got it in stock, and I will pop the link below. And when I go on my sewing retreat tomorrow, we're gonna be visiting Oh So Crafty one day, and I might get some more of this because I've only got a metre of it, and I'm gonna make that top. I'd quite like to make some matching shorts or trousers to go with it, so I might get myself another metre or so of this blue shell fabric, because the only reason I've not done anything with it is I only got a metre. I could only make a top, and in my head, when I saw it, when it arrived, I thought I needed more of that fabric, and it all sold out. So they're the options for blouse number 4. The next and final one is actually more of a shirt, but oh my goodness. Oh, this year there's lots of lace detail in a lot of tops, so I could not do my Sezane collection tops without including one with lacing. But I didn't want one that was full on lace because I didn't think I would wear it. So I've chosen one that's a shirt style but incorporates lace, and it's the Cladio blouse. Look at that How stunning is that blouse? So the detail in it are that it is long sleeved, obviously. It's got the classic shirt collar on it. It's straight cut, so straight down, not fitted, not too big and boxy. And it's got, if you hadn't noticed, the inlaid lace detail in it and matching covered buttons on the placket. Oh, I just think it's stunning, and I really, really want to make this shirt. Now, you can choose any classic shirt pattern from your stash and use it to hack to make this blouse. So I'm not going to tell you which shirt pattern you should use. You will all have one. I'm going to be using the Sewing Bee shirt out of their latest, well, it was last year's Sewing Bee book. So I've made it already, I know it fits, so I'm going to use that as my pattern block and I'm going to hack it. I need to find somewhere to get that beautiful lace because the lace has got to be spot on. So if you know anywhere that sells cotton lace with scalloped edge detail on it, different widths, somewhere I can get them all in one place so that all the different laces match, because I want to use different ones and just play around with it. So the fabric, I have not got any in my stash that will work because I want to use cotton lawn to make this shirt. I think it will make it nice and soft but with a bit of structure. And the best place I found to buy the rainbow colours so that they've got every colour under the sun, so I'm looking at pastels, is Lady McElroy or Lady McElroy. I'll pop an image of their cotton lawns up there. So I'm going to be probably getting 1/2 metre of each, and I need 4 colours. 3 for the body and then the cream for the collar and the placket and the cuffs. That's in my head. So I don't know how much this shirt's going to cost, do I? Because I don't know how much my lace is going to cost me. Not going to be cheap, I'm guessing. But the fabric is £9.99 a metre for cotton lawn. And it's the Lady McElroy Plains cotton lawn. So go on their website. I will pop the link for it below. So if I need 1, 2, 3, 4 of them, I need 2 metres of fabric in total. So it's going to cost me less than £20 for the fabric. And then I've got the lace. So if I say the lace is going to cost me £15, that's £35 for that shirt. And that is the Sezane price. So there we go. 5 Sezane shirts, 5 sewing options for them. Let me know which one you think I should tackle first. I'm going to be doing more than one of them. Which is your favourite? I'm going to do a voting post. I'm going to do a voting poll. So pop over and vote for your favourite one or comment below. And then I'll let you know next week which one you've all voted for. And that's the one that I'm going to be tackling first. So I hope I've given you some inspiration. And I will see you next week for my Sezane inspired collection. And we're going to be doing dresses. So take care, happy sewing, and I will see you soon. Bye.